Sometimes I don't know how I can take it. I'm so tired, worn out. It's like that from the beginning. Tell the story. Boom, not a big bang, but a thunderous voice all the same. God would tame the empty frame of the void with just the same. Verse 3, illuminate the earth with this verse, let there be. So we separated from darkness, light not on the scene. Day 1, the in-between, day 6, man out there. Dolo not good for man, from Adam's rib, Eve's theme. God created marriage, this one man, one woman, a team. Garden Eden was perfect, like water to help clean. Behind the scenes, Satan being kicked out, I imagine the screams. Seeing the third of angels fell to earth, pride stained. Back in Eden, all the trees, but not the tree. Don't you touch it, Eve, let alone eat. I think I really say later, eat the seed. Adam out of line, these true forbidden, let her lead. Eyes open, know what evil is, no contest to plead. Original sins in, God the good father punished the kid who worked the earth, toil and birth pains, and now they heaven. Life's hard, pain and strife, every day's like it's night. Though it's bright, sun high in the sky, on me no light. Tired and worn, got blinders on, lifelong no insight. This flight's heavy, but I hear in Christ's yoke slight. Life's hard, pain and strife, every day's like it's night. Though it's bright, sun high in the sky, on me no light. Tired and worn, got blinders on, lifelong no insight. This flight's heavy, but I hear in Christ's yoke slight. Eve died, Adam died, had calluses on his hands. She worked hard in the house, salty, one to lead the man. They don't know, but soon to know. God give them a helping hand. Here, follow these laws you can't. It's a part of God's plan. Present day, still digging ditches. We broke rock, spiritual sin. In the room for the birth of my last 2 birth pains.
Check 1 2. Testing 1 2 3 4. It is the 7th day. The complete number of the month of October, Lord's year 2025, is AC Sports Live, episode 219, season 6. Chris the Graybeard is in the building. Always, man, I can't make it to a bunch of shows, but what I can do is download some music and cycle it and share it. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, Tired and Worn is the jam. I listened to the album today. It's fire. And you know I'm an old school cat. I like that mellow flow. And the Graybeard came through on this cut right here. As you see at the bottom of the screen, Tired and Worn. Chris the Graybeard, the name of the album is His Wisdom, his EP. Fresh off the presses 2025. Check that out. YouTube Music. And any other platforms you can have your downloads for your mobile listening pleasure. Yes, sir. Today's show, my Bruins shocked the world, beating Penn State. And that is a lesson in itself to how the voice, the personality, the tone of leadership is so important. And we'll talk about that. My Dodgers are up 2-0 to my other team, the Phillies. Rightfully so. Philadelphia Phillies is my other team, but since being in LA for almost 48 years, the Dodgers have been my team. So I can't go wrong in this series, but I am pulling for my Dodgers since I'm here. And we're up 2-0 coming back to LA. I believe they start tomorrow night. It might be a wrap. Dodgers will move on to the NL pennant, and we'll see what happens. Is it a championship or bust? I don't know, man. NFL, my Eagles suffered their first loss, and it wasn't as tragic, but it was telling. We'll talk about that. Tender love, I got a few, man. First and foremost, my boy Mark Sanchez out of USC, former Eagle, is in the news. Unfortunately, it's some tender love. Jerry Jones is in the news for some tender love. And I'm going to throw in Aisha Curry as well, as my wife told me a story about what's happening with her in the stratosphere once again. My sports flicks, there's a documentary out called Cocaine Quarterback. It's crazy. So I'm going to talk about that at the end of the show. This is AC Sports Live. I'm AC. Y'all the peopleization. Once again, you are very much appreciated. And it's time to get it cracking. Let's go.
He ain't never slumber, never put him to the test. He be reigning king forever, resurrected after death. All praise to God, brother, say it with your chest. Say it with your chest, all praise to the one.
Yes, sir. All right. Once again, shout out to Even B. Kim. I think the record label might be called Even Us, because I saw that on the album with Chris the Graybeard's LP artwork. It said Even Us. And I remember seeing that on Even B. Kim's LP as well. So y'all doing good work, man. They're putting out some solid quality, spirit-based lyrics on wax. Are they still making wax? They still make records? I believe so. The con man is in here. What's going on? Yes, sir. Keep doing. I appreciate you. Hey, same to you, man. Con man, check him out. Facebook, YouTube, doing the same thing, bringing out positive information, bringing out positive individuals who did the thing in a real big way. A real big way. CP3 said, even us. Thanks, Holmes. I'm doing a skit with my students about slang, and I'm gonna bring out some of the slang that we used to use. And I said, you jive turkeys think you're slick. And they were like, what? I said, you jive turkeys think you're slick. I know what you're doing. I know what you're up to. Shame on you. And I was looking at some of the slang that they use. I said, we're gonna have to do a slang 101 tribute. All right, I gotta do something real quick. I got a lasagna in the oven, and I gotta turn it off so I don't burn it. 1 second. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. I got echo. Let me get that out of here. All right, cool. Here we go. Even us CP3 says, yes, salvation in Christ is for even us too. For you jive turkey, gray beard wearing, sunglasses, weightlifting, lower back pain, knee pain, arthritis in the kneecap, old turkeys. Salvation is for you too, even us. A wretch like us. You mean Yeshua died for me too? Yes, you too. Even us. Check them boys out, man. See, Reflex is young CP3. Young. Chip off the old block. Ah, man, let's do an A clap for them Bruins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. UCLA. We got that dub versus Penn State. I apologize to those Bruins. I said 0-12 just last week. 0-12. It was looking like it. And then it looked like they was going to come back and beat us after we had a great first half. But we found a way, even at the very end, when we couldn't get any yards to run the clock out. And I think it was, 24 seconds left or something like that. And we were going to punt. They already blocked the punt. I text message P. Ward, Derek Ayers, Paul Guidry, Jonathan Ogden, Courtney Simpson, Phil Rogers, Josh Johnson, all the crew of drill. Do we kick this punt or do we take the safety? and run some of this clock out and do a free kick. And they're like, nah, just punt it. I'm like, well, wait a minute, man. They've already proven they can block the kick. And if we give them the ball back with 20 seconds left, they're going to mess around and score, and we're going to lose this game. It's going to hurt. But interim coach Tim Skipper was listening to the Swami. I'm going to take the name from my buddy Rio Davis, who used to be the Swami during the 1585 show reign during the pandemic. Run 5 seconds off that clock. Run around a little bit in the end zone and take the safety. It was 35-42. It was a smart thing to do. And UCLA is an academic school. We smart guys. We do what smart guys do. Run that clock down to 15 seconds. Kick it off. And now they got to do some craziness. They got to do some laterals. And the Bruins shocked the world. Now, Penn State apparently is not as good as they were originally tabbed to be. But don't let that take away from what the Bruins magically did, because we could have folded. But we didn't. And shout out to Nico Iamaleava. He played a wonderful game, got his name back in the national conversation. 5 tubs, 300 yards, basically. 1 sack would have took that back to 300. 17 of 24 passing, well over 70%. Versus the high-power Penn State defense. A lot of times single-handedly, and that's the beauty of a dual threat quarterback. Now, does that mean we're now going to win the Big Ten? Probably not. Sometimes you play free and loose. When we played for Coach Donahue in the 90s, we've had 6-5 seasons going into USC game 5-5. Uptight all season long, not necessarily happy with our coaches. Hard to play for your coach when they're not positive. It's hard to play for a coach who doesn't ride for you. It's very hard to ride for a coach who does not have the same sentiment. And it happens way too much. You got position coaches who never teach. You have position coaches who never compliment or give you encouragement. And there's too many coaches like that. I've had coaches like that. But that 1 week versus USC, Coach Donahue would all of a sudden be lovey-dovey and say, all right, guys, it's USC week. We're going to let our hair down, play fast, play the way we played when we were in high school. Play the way you played that got you that scholarship. Have fun out there. Let your hair down. I don't care if you got towels. I don't care if you got your name written on your wristband. You could wear a beard this week. I don't care. But we got to beat SC. And we would go out there and win with a very mediocre team versus number 2 in the country, Keyshawn Johnson and the USC Trojans, who are going to the Rose Bowl. Go out there with a game plan. Jimmy Mack throws a pass, a pitch pass, a reverse pass. Kevin Jordan catches the pass. Little old me gets thrown in the game when Sean Williams gets hurt, and I have to play man-to-man on Keyshawn Johnson the entire game. And we found a way to win. Played a different brand of ball when we're given the keys to be free. And this was a year after Terry Donahue left. But prior to that, the 4 years that I played with him as the head coach, that week it was a different message. It was a different tone. Tim Skipper and Jerry Neuheisel, and I'm not sure who called the defensive plays. I'm not sure if it was Coach Demetrius Martin, but that wasn't the same UCLA team from the previous 4 weeks. The team that lost to New Mexico State was New Mexico, and UNLV. that got Coach Deshaun Foster fired, losing to 2 Mountain West teams. And you come back and beat one of the powers of the Big Ten by simply having a different point of view, a different aspect, a different tone, a different message. I heard Coach Skipper prior to the game, and he was almost too positive. Even the broadcasters were laughing at him. And they were like, yeah, maybe. Positive vibes. Us against the world. Go out here and play the game we know how to play. Have some fun. And we were like giggling like, yeah, well, let's see how that pans out. And then we started playing well. And I said, now, if he wins this game and say he has success the rest of the season with this positive mantra, why are we out here looking for the next Nick Saban when we found a voice that these kids play for? Like, as long as we have the kids that we have. I'm not saying give the head coaching job to Jerry Neuheisel. He's a kid. But the kid knows how to simplify the offense and call plays because he's lived his whole life under his dad's wing. And his dad was an excellent coach for his time. He didn't do as great as we thought he would do at UCLA. Times are hard, and sometimes you can't recruit the kids you want to recruit. But that's why it's so important to bring in the perfect voice. I'm not sure if Tim Skipper's him, but if the man can get these kids to play the way they played Saturday on a consistent basis, why is he not considered as a candidate for this position? He did the same thing at Fresno State. Took them to a bowl game as an interim head coach. We get our first win under an interim head coach. And because he believed in the guys. Not that head coach Deshaun Foster didn't believe in the guys, but his disposition, his tone was so calm, melancholy, just easy going, almost, too laid back. Whereas this voice, and you heard Jerry Neuheisel talk, he sounds just like Rick Neuheisel. He sounds just like him. That whole great day to be alive and be a Bruin, I can hear that from his dad, like it's in the next room. Like I can still remember. That's all Coach Neuheisel would say. We would be down two scores in the fourth quarter, and he was like, "It's a great day to be alive and be a Bruin. We're gonna win this game," and we would start believing that craziness. And sometimes it worked. I know it works, man. I encourage coaches. Whereas I think it was National Coaches Day yesterday. If you're a negative coach and you never have anything good to say about your players, and you always complain that, I wish I had better players, and you're stuck with these players, shame on you. Coaches are supposed to teach and bring the best out of their players. I don't know what was being said at UCLA prior to this regime change with the OC just kind of skipped town. And I know he was a fraud. What was his name? Sunseri? He wasn't the OC at Indiana. He was the quarterback's coach, assistant OC. He was the assistant to the OC. And he was in over his head. Similar to my Eagles. The OC is in over his head. And guys stop playing when they know you don't know what you're doing. Rubio's in here. Big Time's in here. The old man finally stayed up to catch you. I know you passed your bedtime, big fella. I appreciate it, Big Time. The Big Time Show. Check him out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all them places, man. Rube said it has to be the biggest Bruin victory in 20 years, if not more. They should have let the kids rush. I was talking to Philip Ward, who was the fire captain and head over the Rose Bowl security during games. And I says, hey, man, let the kids storm the field. He's like, nope, not on my watch. I said, we only got 2,500 kids out there. It's not going to be that bad. We can't pull the goalposts down. There's not enough kids. It's like, nope. Those kids know better, man. The kids, we won the game, and the student section didn't even know how to cheer. It's been so long. They were like, we won? It was tragic, man. I'm happy, but at the same time, what now? Children learn by watching. They will feed off those above them. Tale as old as time. Man, If you don't believe, your kids aren't going to believe. If you don't, Rubio remembers this. We went to play Nebraska. I want to say it was 95. And God rest his soul, Terry Donahue says, man, if we play a perfect game, we got a chance. Game was over at that point. He said, we play perfect, we have a chance. And I was like, We went out there and got blown out, man. And we're both undefeated. But the belief was not in the pregame speech. The belief wasn't in the whole week preparation. We knew going in they didn't believe we could win that game. And we can sense it. We were like a pit bull who sensed fear. We were lunch, man. We were done before we even got out there. So coaches, the National Coaches Day yesterday. I'm not saying you got to be rainbows and sprinkles like Tim Skipper. That dude's just a positive dude. The cup is half full all the time. Get on your kids, no doubt. Be a hard-nosed, old-school guy. But you got to build those kids up. And you have to talk a language that they understand. And you have to be consistent across the board. You can't have favoritism in the position room. Because then when that person gets injured and you got to put somebody else in, you've already told them you don't believe in them. And you want them to play. That's the funniest thing to me. I'm watching the program, Chad Powers, about the kid who went to Oregon, blew the national championship game, and wants to get back in the game, still has eligibility or something. And he puts on prosthetics and becomes a college football player all over again. And he's trying to relive what he lost. But he has to understand the messaging. He has to understand this time around with a second chance. What am I going to do with the opportunities I'm given, despite what the coach might say in the moment? He has to put him in the game after he told him he's the backup. And now that he's going in, you got to go in there and do what you're supposed to do, regardless if the coach believes in you or not. Once you start playing, then they'll believe. But before that even happens, there has to be some type of relationship between the coach and player. So that player can have that deep down belief inside that I'm here and I belong and I'm going to perform how I know how to perform. So a lot of coaches are missing that boat. And with today's NIL transfer crazy era, when a player has chalked it up that this coaching staff, my position coach, does not believe in me, what would make them stay? Remember what Chip Kelly did to Dante Moore? He put him in the game. Okay, I believe in you. And then he sets him up with one of the toughest gauntlets of teams that the Bruins were going to face during his tenure, and ran the kid out of town. Wrote him off as if he wasn't good. And now he's a front runner for the Heisman Trophy at Oregon. It's a lot of that happening in today's football world. Unfortunately, man. Rube says, does Franklin have to get fired if you're a Penn State fan? Big games seem to confuse him for some reason. I've heard that Franklin's on the hot seat. My fear is that UCLA is going to hire him once he's fired. That's the most UCLA thing that's going to happen this offseason. Is Penn State's going to fire James Franklin and UCLA is going to hire him. And we'll be stuck in the same boat as Penn State. But the man can recruit, though. Penn State has dogs. He just can't coach the big game. But if we can get in the conversation, I'm not against James Franklin being the head coach at UCLA. But he's going to have some coordinators that can really call plays like a championship team is going to do. Like, all he should have is the David Shaw treatment. I'm going to call what we go for on fourth down and short. Everything else goes to my coordinators. I'm going to stay out of it. I've hired them. I'm paying them a lot of money to call these plays. I'm going to let them do that. I'm going to make sure our team is loaded. I'll make sure my team is disciplined. Make sure my team knows what to say when the microphone's in their face. And make sure my team doesn't miss bed check. What a head coach is supposed to do. He on a hot seat, man. Big Time said exactly. There is a main thing in the transfer portal. It's a very slippery slope. And you're going to lose kids to playing time. My sweet brother Noomsy is in the building. And that's just part of it. Coaches can't get all bent out of shape about kids leaving. That's just knowing how it is. You're going to go somewhere where you can play, which is also a lesson today for my recruits. Don't worry about D1, FBS. Find yourself a cool FCS program where your position coach is recruiting you. Not the recruiting coordinator, not even the head coach. Your position coach wants you to play in the system that they run. That's the key, because you have to play early or you're going to be gone. You got to have somebody that's going to be trying their best to make you better. You don't want somebody trying to coach you that doesn't want you, because they want to see if they can find any loophole to tell the other coaches, you gave me some duds. I can't work with these kids. Go to a school where the position coach is for you. That way you ensure you get a fair shake at playing time. You'll be in the rotation and you'll get better because they want to see you get better. We were Coach Toledo's de facto players from Coach Donohue's regime. So we weren't his favorite kids because we weren't his kids. And every head coach comes in, brings in his own staff, and they recruit kids that fit what they want to do. The leftover kids from the previous regime have to fight and claw to make that rotation. And if you're the guy, or if you're good enough to be the guy, you'll maintain that until it's time for that person that was brought in to have that position is rated for that spot. But it's a very tricky time in college sports and athletics in general. You see a lot of movement in Pee-wee sports where parents are trying to find where their kids are going to play the most and get caught, get taught up, get coached up, get help to the next level. It's huge, man. Rubio long snapping. I'm sure he has a wealth of information on how the recruiting game has changed drastically. Rubio has, 50 to 100 kids get scholarships every year, but they got to go where they're going to be the snapper immediately, if not the second year. Otherwise, they're not going to be around for the third year. It's a very, very tough time to be a recruit. He said he is quite handsome. It is important. I think James Franklin had a very interesting quote about who he hires for his assistant coaches. He says, I hire good-looking, handsome coaches with drop-dead gorgeous wives. And he said the reason for that is because it exudes confidence. And it's the perception of a situation where the man is confident. He's the head of his household. His wife is his helpmate. And we can go out here and talk to these families and show them that the family structure is important to us. And we can recruit those kids that are Penn State caliber kids. And I said, I can understand that. I get that. Ruth says night and day difference from 5 years ago. And that was night and day different from 5 years before that. It's wild, man. I told the story last week how New Mexico got a phone call from one of my comrades in recruiting about my sons in the portal, and he asked, how much does he want? Not can he play? How much does he want is the first question. I was like, wow, man. And I was like, the kid doesn't want anything except an opportunity to play. Isn't that how it should be? If you lead with the money, you're going to get Bill Belichick's team. 70 transfers and they all got paid and they can't win a game. Kids are all there for the wrong reason. So my lesson for the coaches: teach, man. Sadly enough, I've been in the athletics since I was a kid, and I only have a handful of coaches who were teachers, who really took time to build me up. The other 25 or so coaches wanted an all-star team, ready-made. You should already know this stuff, from baseball, basketball, football to track. Too many guys out here coaching for ego. You should be happy to be playing for me, and you should know how to play already. When you put a new kid in a new system, there's some teaching that has to happen. When you have a kid whose highlight tape shows he can do these things and all of a sudden he can't because you haven't taught him how you want it to be done, then of course you'll think that you got a lemon. But most coaches that want to get better, that want to see kids succeed, will take the time to coach. Quit requesting an all-star team. Get you some kids who are hungry, who hustle and want to play. Everybody can't be as talented as Bosco or Mater Dei. Some of these smaller schools have to do what they can with the kids they got. Everybody's 5'9", 185 pounds. What are we going to do? I don't know. We got to figure out who's going to be the lineman, who's going to be the quarterback, who's going to be the running backs, who's going to be the receivers, and flip those guys to play defense. That's what we did at Lusinger before we got all those recruits to come check in. You got to coach, man. And that means teach. That's my lesson. Words to the wise for all my coaches out there. Not that I'm Newt Rockney or John Wooden. I don't have all the answers, but I know kids today as a teacher and as a coach. We have to reach the kids we have. I'm at St. Anthony's High School in Long Beach. Bunch of private school kids who just want to play football and have fun. They're not going to the pros. But they can play football at a high level and get to the championship in their league. And that's what we did. We coached up the kids we had. You sprinkle in a couple of kids who can play, use them as examples, and before you know it, you got your pretty good team. And it also helps when a Samoan family moves in town and they got 3 big kids that check in and join your team. Now you got an offensive line, and now we can run that ball. That always helps. That always helps, man. Rue said, what's my thoughts on the Hulu halting their documentary on North Carolina since they are so bad this year? I think it's comedy. I think it's tragic, but it's comedy. Shout out to Andrew Simpson, who's on North Carolina's defense, leading the team in tackles. Shout out to Courtney Simpson Pops. That's my brother in drill. It's sad, man. Bill Belichick's voice worked like a charm under a Tom Brady-led team. Made the man hold the title of greatest coach of all time until he wasn't. Until Tom Brady left and it showed that it was Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Those two together made music. Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay, gets a chip with Bruce Arians. So Tom Brady had that magic. Bill Belichick needed Tom Brady. So Bill Belichick's not Phil Jackson. I'm not even sure if he's Nick Saban. But them getting that, I think it would still be good TV. I think Hulu might be jumping the gun. the debacle, that's good TV. Like, why is it not working? It turns into Last Chance U. I think that'd be good TV. I think the initial thoughts were that he was going to bring this team back to prominence, and it would be a good, happy, feel-good story. They make it to a bowl game and all that stuff. But this team is 70 players from the portal, and they all got some pocket change to come, and they're not performing. And I think the quarterback got hurt. The backup quarterback's not very good. But hopefully it does not hurt some of the guys' draft stock. Because I know Andrew Simpson is, one of the top linebackers in the country. But when the team is bad, sometimes your stock goes down. So you almost have to really, really perform at your pro day and the combine to make sure, our season is not indicative of what I've done my first 4 years in college. Because most of the guys who transferred over are established seniors who have already graduated from college. They're just grad transfers. So I don't know, man. The greats need to learn how to retire. Follow the lead of Barry Sanders and Nick Saban. Did Nick Saban get out of Dodge as soon as he saw this coming? He said, yo, I can't monopolize recruits. Oh, I'm out of here. If I can't get the best recruits, I'm out of here. I need the best guys. I'm tired of these guys taking my recruits. Crazy, man. Go Bruins. Biggest win in 20 years? I think so. Does it equate to more wins? Michigan State is a winnable game. And one of the candidates for UCLA's job is the head coach at Michigan State. I believe it's Jonathan Smith. Mr. Vanilla himself. John Smith is our coach. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Coach Smith. I need something a little bit more racy and edgy and scary. Not that my favorite candidate has a spicy name. His name is Tony White. That's pretty vanilla and generic in itself. But when you meet him, he walks in the room, you've met a man's man. Firm handshake, burly, has that Ed Orgeron feel to him. Big old guy, played the game, kissing babies, getting kids fired up. If we can't get Tony White, keep Tim Skipper. He's Skipper. He's Jipper. Dodgers up 2-0. Is this championship a bust? I don't know, man. Our bullpen is shaky, to say it in the nicest possible way. Our bullpen, every eighth inning, man, giving up 2 and 3 runs, man. And we don't have a set closer. We got some cool starters, and our bats are hot. But you can't roll out Shohei to pitch and hit every game. He doesn't hit the same when he pitches. You roll out Snell, he was lights out. Put in the relief pitchers and boom, back in the game. But we found a way to win. Coming back to LA. We got the goods to win. We just need the bullpen to step up. I'm going to leave it at that for now. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because it's still early. We still have the National League pennant to play once we come out of there. We'll see what happens, man. Is it championship a bust? We won a championship last year, man. I don't think it's a bust. I think we need to play tough ball and give ourselves a chance. If we get to the championship, the World Series, we have a very good shot. But without a proper mid closer and a closer, it's a toss up, man. We're gonna be using starters. My Eagles drop 1 to the Denver Broncos, and that's what we get, man. That's exactly what we get. Trying to appease fans and the media. You're 4-0. And you want to Make people happy. AJ Brown's going to be fine. Devontae Smith's going to be fine. If they're not getting the ball, yeah, they'll be upset. But when it's time to throw the ball, be ready. Don't be pouting. The offensive coordinator is terrible. He's not designing plays for Saquon Barkley to get loose. You can't run the same old blocking schemes when the teams are 8 in the box. It's too predictable. Saquon gets 6 carries. Now he's injured, so he's probably not playing tomorrow night. The best thing about Thursday night, is that it's a quick turnaround, and we're playing against a rookie quarterback in Jackson Dart for the New York Football Giants. If we lose that game, now it's time to hit the panic button. Somebody got to get fired. The OC got to get fired if we lose to the Giants. Point blank, simple. Should not have lost that game. You're up, 14? Run the football at that point. You pass the ball to run it. Running it to pass it is the thing of the past. We have the tush push. What are we doing? Throw the ball on first down. Get second and short. Take a shot. Third and short, run the football. 4th and 1, tush push. Very simple. Very demoralizing. Use your weapons. Spread the ball around. Watch some film from last year. See how it was done. I'm not saying call the same plays, but the rhythm and flow of play calling has to be a skill, not a guess. You can't be out there guessing. You got to be setting defenses up. Yes, you run some plays just to get the defense to play honest. My wife hates the up the middle play. Up the middle play is what killed my Delaware State Hornets this weekend. My son's team. They ran the football. Monmouth ran the football, and they throw the ball 50 times a game, but they ran the football versus Delaware State. They found a weakness in our defense, is that we're counting on you to throw the ball. Instead, they ran the ball down our throat. They almost had 200-yard rushing. That was the game to me. That was the game. They were able to run the football like we like to run the football. We ran the football well, but it became a track meet, and they outscored us, and we lost. And unfortunately, going into homecoming, 3-3. So we're going to fly out there on Friday, see my son play. He's not playing as much as he would like, but I told him to hang in there, play these special teams with fire and purpose and drive, and good things will happen. So, it's an experience, man. He's got to get through it. He'll be all right. He still has all the intangibles. And, I'm just trying to make sure he stays positive and stays on the right path, as most of us dads do for our kids. They'll be all right. It's a long season. I'm still going to see him play at the Link in about 3 weeks. So that's going to be fun. But my Eagles dropping one game, not tripping off that. But if we lose to the Giants, we got problems. I feel bad for the Arizona Cardinals, man, and how they lost that game. If you haven't seen it, check out some of the replays. I can't play the video here. They'll shut my stream down. But there's no way in the world the Cardinals should have lost that game to the Tennessee Titans. Giving Cam Ward his first win. Balls bouncing around. Running backs dropping the ball before they get in the end zone. Why is that such a popular thing to do? Why must you throw the ball down before you get in the end zone? I never understood that. I know you're excited and you can't wait to celebrate, but it's one of the most bonehead things you can do. Get that ball in the end zone, man, high and tight. Hand the ball to the ref like Barry Sanders, and then dance. Then do your thing. You ain't got to celebrate as soon as you get to the 5-yard line. That's 2 weeks in a row somebody's dropped the ball before getting in the end zone. Come on, man. Be a pro about it. All right. Tender love. All right, so let's strike it up. Let's go Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones. I got video of Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones in the Meadowlands, Jets, Cowboys. And fans are saying, Jerry. Jerry sees some fans trolling him. old Jerry flips up the bird to the fans and points them out. Says, "You, here's one for you." Jerry is Jerry is living his best life. In his mind, he's doing it right. He in the skybox flipping off fans like they are not videotaping him. Jerry Jones out here wilding out, man. NFL fined him $250,000 for the bird. That's crazy, man. Jerry Jones is wild. While in other news, Mark Sanchez is being charged with a felony. He really jacked that dude up. That man was in bad shape. Watch the story. It's a bunch of YouTube videos out. Mark Sanchez is doing wind sprints at 12 in the morning in an alley. And a box truck pulls up to deliver some cooking oil. Mark Sanchez says, "You can't park here." Of course, the entitlement of a Mission Viejo quarterback that went to USC. "You can't park here." That sounds like a Karen verse. Like, "You can't park here. I'm doing wind sprints." Why are you doing wind sprints drunk at 12 in the morning and you're broadcasting the game the next day? What is going on with Mark Sanchez? What is going on with USC quarterbacks? I'm going to get to that cocaine quarterback story in a minute. Mark Sanchez, what is going on with you, partner? What are you doing? Because now you got a case. This man was beat up pretty bad. That's why he stabbed you after he pepper sprayed you. If you ran through the pepper spray, you was on that other stuff. You might have been on that booger sugar. You might have been on that white horse. If you can Debo through some pepper spray, you were a monster. Is his broadcasting career over? OG Neil said that story is crazy. It makes no sense. My boy Tim Hood said it might be his gay lover. That's how you flip the script. He's not talking about some people being drunk and they're just fighting. It could be the extreme. Cooking oil, alleys, sprints. It makes no sense. So I'm gonna let it be. But that's some tender love there, Mark Sanchez. Why you putting hands on the old man with the box truck? Let the man get the cooking oil. You ain't running that fast, no way. You were never that fast. What are you doing? Why are you running wind sprints? Wind sprints? I don't know, man. What makes this story any different than Juicy Smouye? Juicy Smouye was attacked by Nigerians in MAGA hats. I saw the documentary. I don't know who's telling the truth. I want to believe Juicy. But then again, you can't really trust Nigerians. I'm not trying to be racist, but I know a few. And they don't always come correct. They try to get that money. And the guy in the documentary seemed like he got that money when his story started changing a little bit. I don't know how you see it. That's how I see it. And also, tender love. This picture resurfaced. My wife and I were talking about how Ayesha Curry needs to shut her mouth. She has a wonderful family, a wonderful husband, and one of the best NBA players of all time, arguably the best shooter of all time, giving her beautiful kids. They have everything they want in life, and she's not happy. She says she never wanted kids. And she's saying this recently. I never wanted kids. I wanted to be self-made and all this other jazz. Do you know there are millions of women who would love to be in your spot? And now you're going to call Steph to have to be fighting in locker rooms. Pat Bev said, "Yo, shorty for everybody." So Steph claps back, "Your mouth got more handles than your game." That ain't even how Steph Curry talks, man. Now he got to go out here and be gangster. This is old. But the old, I wish guys would holler at me conversations going to be right back in the Twitter sphere. And now you got to deal with it all over again because he out here running her mouth. Your marriage needs to be as private as possible and you're in the public eye. So you should not be saying things to a hot microphone that people can run with. Keep your marriage out of the public so you can make it. This is the first step to a divorce. And the pattern has already been set. Steph's parents divorced all late in the game. And they went and got their next significant other in a matter of weeks or whatever. So they always had their foot outside. This right here, Mrs. Curry, you don't want that. But if you want that, you're going to get that, and you're going to make Steph Curry a bachelor. Knowing that your fame, your name, your existence, as far as popularity, getting to the Drake backstage with your girls, because your husband is Steph Curry. Drake is a huge basketball fan. He hears Ayesha Curry wants her girlfriend to come meet Drake. He'll make that happen. Because now he can meet Steph Curry. Or he can hang out with Steph. Please don't go there, Ayesha Curry. Stay private. You said she's bored. But then do your cooking show. Like Layla Ali. Find something to do. Be like Weezy Jefferson. Get you to the help center and go help out and volunteer somewhere. Do something positive with your time. Raise them kids. That's what it is. You don't want to raise them kids. You're being lazy. All right, man. The Cocaine Quarterback documentary on Amazon Prime. Man, I don't know, man. The Cocaine Quarterback documentary make me wonder, should they take away them national championships? Or that national championship they won? Because this man right here was supplying all the goods. But before he got to become a cocaine kingpin, discovering ways how to transport cocaine through liquid, this dude, Owen Hansen, man, was on the team, supplying all the players with whatever they needed. PEDs. And the documentary doesn't sugarcoat anything. Lindale White's on there. Reggie Bush is on there. Matt Leinart and all them dudes are on there. They said, man, this dude had everything you needed. Is it past the statute of limitations? Because he was dropping dimes. Can they retro suspend the team? The first segment of the documentary was talking about his days at USC. The rest of the documentary is about his days after USC and how he was working with the cartel. And he was the plug. And he can get things done. He can get things transported. Problem was, he did a deal with the wrong dude. And the wrong dude screwed him. And then the wrong dude screwed him years later. When Owen Hansen did something to the plug's mother's grave. And he said, I'm going to get some revenge at some point. It's a crazy documentary, man. It's on Amazon Prime. It's super entertaining, super interesting. I highly recommend it because I know this is not the only one as far as a wild, creative guy on the team who was doing some illegal activity. Rubio remembers we played against Arizona State in the 90s. And they had a guy named Mitchell Friedman. They called him Fright Night. He wore number 13. He always had a broken hand for some reason. He always had a club. But he was an enforcer. He was a headhunter. And he was hitting hard. Well, I met Mitchell Friedman when I got to the Arizona Cardinals. He was still at Arizona State. I'm on the Arizona Cardinals and we're at training camp. And we go to a function with the Arizona Cardinals and the Arizona State Sun Devils. And I kid you not, Mitchell Fright Night Friedman had hookers. And the team said he supplies every party with hookers. He was a bona fide real pimp in college. And we were just laughing because he comes in and it's like a movie. Like 10 girls come right behind him and dudes are like taking like orders. and letting him know that they'll take care of the fees. And I'm just kind of like, I ain't never seen no situation like this in all my life. As far as football players and professional football players, and the college football player is the one who has the means to get things done. The other stuff that was going on, I don't even want to say it, I don't want to incriminate nobody, but I think, prostitution was legal where we were, and he was the one setting it up. And I was like, wow, this guy is really a pimp in college football. Like, no wonder he got a nice ride out front. And we didn't have NIL. We couldn't have a job. So he had a cash job where nobody can trace what he's doing. So the Owen Hansen story is not that far-fetched. I heard stories about Oklahoma 85 with Bosworth and Jamel Holloway and them guys. Colorado with all them guys. Miami with all them guys, especially being in Miami near one of the biggest cocaine distributing areas in the world. So I was not that surprised, but at the same time, right before our nose, because I was at UCLA during this time, the late 90s, early 2000s, all this stuff was going on, man. You never know. That's why I love documentaries, man. They shed light on what's really going on, what's really happening. Speaking of what's really going on, man, the Kyron Lacey situation was pretty tragic, man. Young man took his own life in September, believing that he would be found guilty of causing, an accident that caused people to lose their lives. And then recently, the attorneys brought video evidence that it was not his fault and that he was not even close to the accidents when they happened. He just happened to roll up and be the most popular person in the area. So he was being pinned as the reason why, because they could find a way to make him the scapegoat in this whole situation. And of course, with that information, he panicked. He jumped to conclusions and he took his own life. So his attorneys have proven that he's innocent. He did not kill those people. He just happened to be in the area and driving a bit reckless leading up to where the accident happened. So he was 70 yards away from the accident before it happened. And when it happened, he pulls up and now it looks like it's him. So unfortunately, he did not have the patience. He did not have the belief that he could be found innocent in this situation. And I kind of understand where he was coming from, and that we live in a country where you're always guilty until proven innocent as a black man, where it should be you're innocent until proven guilty for every man. And those are some of the second the two-way double standards we live with in this country. So unfortunate, but at least we get to say he didn't do it, as those officers claimed he did. Also in the news, the Browns traded Flacco to the Bengals, which makes Shedeur Sanders number 2. It's only a matter of time now. And I like what Coach Prime said. I don't give a darn no Browns. They did my son greasy. All I care about is the Colorado Buffaloes. But I do love me some Shedeur Sanders. When he gets in there, he gonna ball out. But draft day, they did him greasy. Keep it a whole buck. All right, man. That's my show. I appreciate y'all for hanging out. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m. on AC Sports Live. Please share, comment, replay, recycle, tell your friends. I will appreciate the follow. If you're on Twitch, appreciate you. Share it. Facebook, YouTube, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. Until then, may Yeshua continue to bless you richly. I'll see you next time. Same bat channel, same bat time. I'm out.